Hey guys, Ray, Spray Wash Academy. Wanted to talk today a little bit about equipment maintenance and taking care of some things and showing you what happens inside of these ball valves. A lot of folks that are, soft washing will recognize this immediately as a ball valve. I felt like I was getting some bypass and some bleed through from my water to my proportioner in the booster pump. Something was going on there, so figured it was time to maintain it. This valve has been on that rig for about a year and a half. A lot of us have these smaller valves. I actually went with the larger 1-inch valve whenever I built this particular rig. A little tougher, a little thicker. I put bushings in there down from 1 inch to 3/4. But anyway, most of us are familiar with these types of valves. I thought it was performing a little bit odd, so figured it was time to take it off. And I want to show you something that we call sodium dropout. And if you work with bleaching, I don't care if you're working with a 12 volt, if you're working with a booster pump, air pump, something like that, this is one of the things that will happen to a lot of your valves. Everything gets a nice fine coating of sodium flakes. Let me see if I can bring that to the camera if you can see that in the light. You can actually see these crystals along in here. Same things that happens on our diffuser plates in our booster pumps. Take it off with a light muriatic acid rinse. But this is my switching valve where I switch from proportioner to water. Now, that's in there. Seal around here. See if I can get the ball out. Figured out my seals are fine. There we go. Okay. So this is the ball valve, and for those of y'all, real brief, anybody not familiar with the three-way ball valve, let me give you a brief explanation. Outflow, select from this side or that side by turning this dial, and it's going to come out of there. Or you can draw from this side and shoot it out either this side or this side. Just has this ball valve like this. The handle operates it, flips it from the ball is oriented to this side or this side with the channel going out the bottom. Anyway, back to the lesson. So as this ball sits in here inside that housing, it's riding against this seal. The seal's still pretty smooth, but notice the ball itself, the amount of sodium that's on there. This feels extremely rough. I can probably hear my glove on it. There's no way that it's making a good seal against that. I mean, it's almost like emery cloth. It's not making a good seal up against there. It wouldn't be watertight, and therefore it's allowing either chemicals or it's allowing either water to seep into my chemicals whenever I'm rinsing, or allowing chemicals to seep into my water. Okay, let's take a look down in here, the throat of that valve. You can see that there's really a lot of chunks down in there. I'm just gonna scrape it up some here so y'all can maybe see. So just that light scraping. Uh-oh. Sorry. Bad camera work. Had all of that debris fall out. Anyway, what does that tell us? Well, it tells us that this is not a one and done investment. These valves are not permanent. They leak, they split. Got one right here that I took off this rig. I'm rebuilding it and redoing all the connections. You can see the split right in there. That was off of the flush valve going to the proportioner, and it just split one day. You know what? They happen. You can see the sodium build up in here as I popped that out. And am I upset? No, I'm not upset at all. Am I pissed at the vendor that sold me these pieces of crap? No, I'm not. I'm actually delighted and I'm happy. I'm happy I get to go out there and spend some more money. Thought I'd turn the camera around so we can talk a little bit more. Am I mad about the vendor that sold me this? Because after a year and a half, it's failed on me? No, I'm not. My calculations where I dropped off before I flipped the camera around. I spent about $18,000 in bleach last year. At my rate, I'm paying roughly, and I'm rounding this stuff up, 15,000 gallons of bleach. I run on three and a half rigs. I've got a backup rig if anything ever goes down. So basically, you know, average that out, say 4,500 per rig on 3 rigs, 4,500 gallons of bleach per rig on 3 rigs, and then let's say I did 1,500 on the backup rig, my rig. You know, that adds up to the 15,000 gallons of SH that we used on there. You know, if I look at the incredible return I have received on this ball valve, on that booster pump, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, my gross per truck, it paid for that booster pump. Let's say if I had $1,000 in valves and hoses and junk like that, it paid for it well more than 200 times over per truck. So your equipment is disposable. Yes, you want to let it, you want it to last. Nothing lasts forever. I mean, you change belts on your pressure washer. You change belts. You change seal kits in your pumps on a pressure washer. People throw away 12-volt pumps, you know, left and right. And I hear people fussing about, you know, the booster pumps. Oh, well, they're not reliable, and you have to replace them. Well, you don't have to replace them. You have to clean them, and you have to maintain them, and maybe replace some plates. Air pumps, air diaphragm pumps. Just got off the phone a couple days ago with somebody who's just said, man, I'm so over it. I'm so over it. I've gone through 2 compressors this year. So it's not a pissing contest about my equipment's better than yours, and I use this or I use that. I think you ought to use all of it, because as I've said before, you've probably heard me talk, it's a pretty crappy carpenter who shows up with just one saw. I want to take advantage of every saw that's out there. Anyway, I'm getting off track. So I don't care if my stuff wears out in a timely manner. I've had this on that skid behind me for a year and a half now. It's way more than paid for itself. So what am I gonna do? Well, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to go up to my tool drawer, toolbox here, and I'm going to replace it with another banjo. I have this spare right here. That's a good one that's not split, but I like these a little bit better. So I'll probably replace it with one of these ball valves because that's also what I have in stock. Turn my camera around. You know, I keep fittings, I keep parts. Name any successful business that doesn't have, you know, spares. Gosh, you know, you want to have redundant backups to your backups. This way, this rig won't be down for more than an evening here while I go and you know, swap out this three-way valve that finally crapped out on me. So I have no problem doing that maintenance on there. In fact, whenever I have something wear out from an issue of use, I'm actually typically pretty happy because it means I have made a boatload of money if I have worked it hard enough to wear out. Anyhow, the fatal flaw, where a lot of the folks that go after low prices, the fatal flaw in their whole plan of action is that they're not planning on their ball valve going bad. They're not planning on their pressure hose going bad. But I got news for you. It will go bad. We're in a industry where our equipment gets used and abused. We're in an industry where salt deposits happen inside of things. Stuff wears out. It's literally unavoidable. So you have to budget and plan for replacing your equipment. And by budgeting, I mean money and time. Make sure you set aside some time to take care of your stuff. If you take care of it yourself, or take some time to send it into a shop, because your equipment will need to be maintained. This is one of the reasons that I have a backup rig, because right now we're in the springtime and we're booking out, 2 weeks in advance with 3 trucks. So if for some reason I don't get this repair done tonight, I'll drop the skid in the truck that this skid came out of, and we won't miss a step on it. Anyway, you guys, thanks for your time. I appreciate that. As always, drop me an email, info@Spraywash Academy, if I can answer any questions for you. And y'all have a great rest of your day, and wash on.